Welcome everyone to our deep dive. Today, June 17th, 2025, we're looking at the Global Hazard Assessment. Our goal really is to give you a shortcut through, well, a really complex web of risks.
It is complex, and what's really striking is this convergence of threats we're seeing. It's heavily focused on North America right now, but the implications, they really spread out, from deep inside the Earth right up to the sun.
Okay, let's unpack that. You said a convergence in North America. What are we actually seeing that's so significant?
Well, on the ground, we're looking at a kind of triple threat. First up, there's a multi-day severe thunderstorm outbreak just hammering the central U.S.
Hammering how?
I mean, we saw a record-tying 101-mile-per-hour wind gust recorded in Wichita, Kansas, at the airport there. That's causing widespread damage.
Wow.
Yeah. And parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, they're under a moderate risk. That's level 4 out of 5 for more severe weather. We're talking very large-hailed tornadoes are possible, too.
And that's not all from that system, is it? Didn't it cause flooding further east?
Tragically, yes. That same system led to deadly flash floods over in Appalachia, northern West Virginia specifically. Reports are confirming at least 6 fatalities there already.
Okay, so that's one major issue. But then, looking out to the oceans, there's Hurricane Eric.
Exactly. Over in the eastern Pacific, what was Tropical Storm Eric is intensifying rapidly. The forecast has it becoming at least a Category 2 hurricane before it even gets close to Mexico's southern coast.
Category 2, okay. Where are the main warnings?
They're up now from Puerto Angel to Punta Maldonado, and the rainfall forecasts. Some parts of Oaxaca and Guerrero could see up to 20 inches of rain.
20 inches. That's almost certainly going to mean major flooding.
Catastrophic flash flooding and mudslides. It's almost a given in that kind of terrain with that much rain.
Right. So intense storms inland, a hurricane building offshore.
Yeah.
But you mentioned a triple threat. What's the third piece? Because this is where it feels, I don't know, really concerning.
It is. This is the heat wave. We're looking at a massive, potentially historically significant heat wave developing across the central and eastern U.S. It's going to impact millions.
How hot are we talking?
Actual temperatures pushing into the 90s and 100s Fahrenheit, but the feels like temperatures, the heat index, could approach 110 degrees Fahrenheit in places.
And how does this connect back to the storms? That seems key.
It is key. This is what creates that awful cascading disaster scenario. The severe storms cause power outages, lots of them, and then the extreme heat hits.
So people are left without air conditioning.
Exactly, and that's when extreme heat shifts from being really uncomfortable to being genuinely lethal, especially for vulnerable people. The first disaster makes the second one far, far worse.
That's a really stark connection. Now, some might say, severe weather, heat waves, hurricanes, they happen. How do we know this is amplified by bigger climate trends?
Well, connecting it to the bigger picture, these absolutely aren't just isolated events happening in a vacuum. They are profoundly consistent with what we expect from a global climate system that's under enormous stress.
Meaning?
The science is really clear on this. A warmer planet fundamentally amplifies these kinds of hazards. It fuels more intense storms, contributes to worsening heat waves, and you also get phenomena like hydroclimatic whiplash.
Hydroclimatic whiplash.
Yeah, that violent swing we're seeing more often, from extreme drought conditions to suddenly incredibly intense floods. The system's just more volatile.
Okay, so the planet systems are stressed, but the risks aren't just terrestrial, are they? What's happening with the sun?
No, you're right. We need to look up too. The sun is pretty active right now. There's a big, highly active sunspot region, AR 4-114, and it's currently facing Earth directly.
That means?
It means there's a significant chance forecasters are putting it at 30%, which is high of an X-class solar flare today.
An X-class flare? What was that do?
An X-flare causes immediate, widespread radio blackouts. High-frequency communications just gone on the entire sunlit side of Earth. So big impacts on long-distance comms, aviation, maritime.
Okay, that's the flare risk. But there's something else incoming too, right? A CME.
Correct. Separate from the flare risk, there's a plasma cloud, a coronal mass ejection, or CME, that was launched back on June 15th. It's traveling towards us now.
And when does that arrive?
It's expected to deliver a glancing blow to Earth's magnetic field on or around June 18th, so tomorrow-ish.
What kind of impact does a glancing blow cause?
It'll likely trigger a G1, that's a minor geomagnetic storm. For most people, not a huge deal, but it can cause weak fluctuations in power grids, especially at high latitudes, and maybe some minor issues for satellites in orbit.
Any visible effects?
Ah, yes. The cool part, it could push the aurora, the northern lights, further south than usual, maybe visible in places like northern Michigan or even parts of the UK if conditions are right.
Okay, so we've covered severe weather, hurricanes, heat waves, solar flares, geomagnetic storms. Are we done? What about the ground beneath us?
Good question. No, we're not quite done. The Earth itself is showing some restlessness. In the US, Kilauea volcano in Hawaii is showing really clear geophysical signs, precursors, that suggest a high probability of renewed eruption.
When?
Specifically lava fountaining, likely between June 18th and 20th, so very soon. And globally, we're also watching Fuego volcano in Guatemala. It continues with high activity, and several volcanoes across Indonesia remain pretty restless. They all need close watching.
Right. So pulling all of this together, what's the main takeaway for someone listening today?
I think the main takeaway is seeing how complex this landscape is. Hazards aren't just happening one by one, they're interacting, they're compounding each other, particularly right now in the US.
Yeah, it feels like we're seeing that interaction really clearly this week.
It really highlights this new reality we're in, understanding these interconnected systems, seeing how one hazard can amplify another. It's just essential now for being genuinely informed about the world.
Absolutely. So maybe a final thought to leave with you, our listener. When you see this picture, this intensely interconnected web of global hazards, how might that change the way you think about your own preparedness? Or even just how you read the news day to day? Something to think about as you navigate this very dynamic world.